In this lecture, we're going to be looking at vocabulary connected with thought processes. And here are the 7 words: anticipate, appreciate, comprehend, conceive, envisage, infer, recall. So anticipate. Anticipate. If you anticipate an event, you think about it in advance that it's going to happen and you're ready for it or you're excited about it. So for example, this man is anticipating life in a new country. He's about to arrive. He's getting quite excited. He's getting ready to start his new life. So anticipate. Ante means before. It's from the Latin word ante. So for example, banks anticipate further rate cuts over the next 3 months. I anticipate rain. So I anticipated rain, so I took an umbrella. Police anticipate that rivalry between drug gangs will lead to war. And some collocations, you anticipate a decline or a slowdown or a rise. Things can be widely anticipated as well, widely anticipated. Some forms for the verb: anticipates, anticipating, anticipated. And then the noun form is anticipation. So anticipate, anticipation. And some synonyms: expect, predict, forecast, foresee, foresee. You can wait for and await. Wait for and await mean the same thing. Here's the next word: appreciate. Appreciate. If you appreciate a situation, then you understand it or you know what it involves. And if it's a good thing, it can also mean that you're thankful for it. So you can appreciate the beauty of nature, the calm, the tranquility of nature. You understand how important it is, and you can be thankful for it as well. So, for example, many governments don't appreciate the importance of free speech. It is essential to appreciate the side effects of using antibiotics. This next sentence, I greatly appreciate your help, is more of a formal way of thanking someone. You're saying that you really liked, you're thankful for their help. So you can appreciate the importance or the seriousness of things. You can much appreciate. So I much appreciated your help. You can fully appreciate. When you fully understand a situation, then you fully appreciate it. So some verbs that for different forms: appreciates, appreciating, appreciated. And the noun form is appreciation. Appreciation. So an appreciation of a situation is an understanding of that situation. So somebody might have a strong appreciation of the importance of football, for example. Some synonyms: understand, recognize, acknowledge. Comprehend. Comprehend. So comprehend means understand, but we often use this word when we actually don't understand something, when we don't comprehend, we can't comprehend something. Not always, but it's quite a common use. So this woman here, she can't comprehend something. She doesn't understand it. So for example, he can't comprehend the implications of the new policy. Patients may not have enough information to comprehend their illness. And the third sentence is a more positive use of comprehend. We fully comprehend the seriousness of the situation. So it's a more formal use of understand. So you can fully comprehend, or at the other extreme, scarcely comprehend. You can comprehend the importance of something and the implications of something. So some verb forms: comprehends, comprehending, comprehended. And the noun form is comprehension. Comprehension. You often do reading comprehensions in tests to show how much you understand. And some synonyms: understand, of course, grasp, appreciate as well can be a synonym, and realize, realize. Conceive, conceive. Conceive means you think about or you imagine something. And again, it's often used with not and can't, but not always. It's often used, for example, when you come up with an idea. You come up with a good idea, you conceive an idea. So, for example, the government was unable to conceive the idea that they were wrong. J.K. Rowling conceived the idea of Harry Potter when she was on a train. She cannot conceive of herself being anything else but a doctor. And some common collocations: you conceive of something, or you conceive that something. You can't conceive of something, and you can conceive an idea. So the verb forms: conceives, conceiving, conceived, and conception is the noun form: conception. And some synonyms: believe, perceive, realize, accept, and the next two, come up with and create, are more about conceiving ideas. You come up with or you create ideas. Envisage, envisage. If you envisage something, then you imagine it, but you imagine it's true or real or likely to happen in the future. So this woman here, she's envisaging something for the future. Envisage. Vis in the middle, from vision. So if you envision, if you envisage something, then you make or you put into your head, a vision of something, of a thing. For example, he envisages a better future for the country. The peace plan envisaged the creation of an independent Palestinian state. I cannot envisage a stronger EU, European Union, without making it more democratic. So you envisage the creation of something. You envisage the possibility. You can originally envisage. So when you envisage something at the start, you originally envisage it. You can previously envisage something. So envisages, envisaging, envisaged are the verb forms. No noun form for this word. But some synonyms. Envision. Envision, envisage, envision, very similar verbs. often used, often swapped in use. So envision, envisioned, envisioning, imagine, consider, see, visualize and picture. Infer. Infer. If you infer something, then you work out that something is true, often with incomplete information. You've got to read between the lines to understand something completely. You often have to infer information in a text, and detectives often have to infer information if they don't have enough evidence. So you infer things from an incomplete picture. So, for example, I inferred from what she said that you have not been well. So she didn't say this person is not well. She maybe said, oh, she didn't look very nice. She didn't look well. She looked pale. She was in bed all day yesterday. So you infer that she's not well. Astronomers can infer the mass of a star by its movement. So they don't weigh the star, but they can work it out from some other evidence. We can infer from his behaviour that he does not like you. So you infer the meaning and the existence of something. You can infer from something. You can reasonably infer something as well. If you're fairly close to the facts, you can reasonably infer the facts. So infers is one verb form. Inferring, note the second R you've got to put in. And the same for inferred. And the noun form is inference. Inference. So infer, inference for the noun. And some synonyms: deduce, conclude, assume, speculate, guess and reckon. Reckon is an informal form of guess or speculate. Recall. When you recall something, you remember it. You call it back into your mind. So this man here was recalling D-Day, I think, in World War II. He's an old soldier. He's recalling the war. So recall. Call again. You call something back into your mind. You remember it. So, for example, I suddenly recalled where I left my phone. People often recall with sadness how life used to be simpler. And now the third sentence here is using recall as a noun, and we say recall. Recall. So her recall of detail is amazing. She's got a very good memory. Her recall. So you can use it as a noun. But the stress in the word moves to the front. Here's the verb collocations. Recall a conversation. You can recall something with happiness or sadness. But if you're doing it with happiness, you can fondly recall something. You can correctly recall details. And some verb forms. Recalls, recalling, recalled. Now I said one noun form is recall, but you can also have recollection. Recollection. So my recollection was correct. And some synonyms: remember, remind, think of. And so there are your 7 words for thought processes: anticipate, appreciate, comprehend, conceive, envisage, infer, recall.